What's the word, man? It's your boy Smoke Souls, and we back at it with another one. Let's talk about RJ Barrett re-signing with the Knicks. And we had to know this was coming. RJ Barrett has been the young player that the Knicks have coveted for a very long time. But he just get dogged out at every turn, man. Like every time a list come out, the best young players, RJ Barrett is never there. And I got a few thoughts on why that is. Mainly playing in New York, slandering Knicks players always gets a ton of interaction. So that's just what those sites do. They want the traction. Top 20 list, no RJ Barrett. It's gonna be so many Knicks fans just outraged. So I feel like that's kind of why they do that. And I know that this trade makes Donovan Mitchell thing more complicated, but RJ was never getting traded for Donovan Mitchell. I don't know why that was ever a thought for some. It was always the idea that we wanted to pair, not we, but the Knicks wanted to pair RJ with Donovan Mitchell. Like that's the young face of the team. Personally, would I trade RJ for Donovan Mitchell straight up? I don't know. I probably wouldn't. It depends on what your goal is. Like if you want to win a championship, no, I don't think that gets you closer. Now Donovan Mitchell could go there and like pursue other players to come, but nah, that doesn't make you closer to a championship. Donovan Mitchell, Julius, and Jalen Brunson, nah, that team's not competing. So on the flip side, is RJ and Brunson and Randall competing? No, but RJ is a youngin, man. He's young. Donovan Mitchell not the oldest, but I don't know. I like what I saw from RJ, man. I watched a lot of RJ at the end of the year last year. Wrote an article about him and everything. His right hand misconception is it's really just cap. It's like it stems from a media driven narrative. Oh, RJ can't go right. RJ won't finish right. RJ just has a problem finishing, period, right now. It's not about a left or a right hand thing. And his problem really stems from consistency and shot selection. Like RJ loves, and when I say love, I mean loves to shoot the ball over over two players. Like he would just attack, get to his euro, two players right there, and he tries to outmuscle them. But that is one thing I like about RJ's game is his strength. My boy found the hoop. Shout out to him. Earlier in the playoffs, watching the Heat, he was just talking about how RJ Barrett needs to watch a lot of Jimmy Butler this offseason. And I never really thought about it, but I was like, facts. They play with that strength. They want to come downhill. You know what I mean? They got a lot of moves around the basket. That's their bread and butter. And so, yeah, RJ doesn't have the mid-range like Jimmy right now, but still, I think watching Jimmy can help him go a long way. And RJ is naturally like a passer to a certain extent. Like, yes, he can be a black hole when he just goes in there Euro stepping and is trying to, get to the rim or get to the free throw line. But RJ has shown that he can throw nice skid passes and things like that. He's shown that he can operate out of the pick and roll. So, I don't know. I do like RJ game a lot, man. I do like his game a lot. Defensively, he's shown the effort. Now, his consistency is just a problem in general, so it's not just the offense thing. Because defensively, I've seen him lock in and take, some of the best matchups and like really hold his own. And then the next game, he might not be checking the most difficult player to guard and he falls asleep. That shows me that RJ wakes up for comp. Like when it's comp, it's on. But you can't play down with your competition. You don't want to do that. You want to stay at that same level. Everybody should be LeBron James or Kevin Durant. But RJ has been thrown into a weird situation compared to Ja and Zion. The two players that were picked ahead of him. Those were the consensus top three back in 2019. Those two got the keys to the franchise. Ja, obviously, is on a superstar trajectory. Zion is too when healthy. But those two literally got the keys. Julius Randle has a semi-similar game to RJ. The lefty, not spacing the floor that much. I believe that not last year, but the year before last was a fluke for Julius Randle. I don't think he'll ever shoot the ball like that again. So, those two. And RJ shot good that year too, 40% from three. But I'm not sure that's really RJ. I think RJ is a slasher. He will develop into a good playmaker, I believe, but I don't see RJ as a knockdown shooter. I think he can get to like above league average rates, but I don't ever see him, 40% on 8 attempts. I just don't see that one. And that's fine. That's not everybody's game, but I do feel like Julius Randle has not stunted RJ's growth, but it plays a role. I think if RJ had got the keys earlier, the efficiency and the decision-making stuff might look a little bit different. Like, I'm going to keep saying I think his efficiency is 100% on decision-making. And the context of his team. Like, when he's driving to the rack, because the Knicks have no shooters, the whole defense is collapsing. So, yes, if he was a better playmaker for others at this point of his career, he would be able to, play recognize that stuff and get the passes off. But that's not where he's at right now. But only in year 3, man. Still young. Super young. And we know that this year he started to go crazy after basically the first of the year. So December 31st, next day, New Year's. After that, RJ just going to tear, man. 24 game, 4 assists. The offense just ran through him. But the efficiency stuff is what I know a lot of people love to talk about. Let's talk about how he can actually get to the rim. Shout out to cleaning the glass. Always go here for when I need, percentages, basically. So let's look at RJ. His frequency. This is not his accuracy or it's not his percentage that he's shooting around the rim. This is how often he gets to the rim. Like 41% of his shots came at the rim last year. 49 his rookie year. 42 his sophomore year. RJ can get to the rim at will. Like, that ranks in the 83rd percentile. The rookie year ranked in the 92nd percentile. RJ can get to the rack. Super strong shoulders. Just a strong player, man. And not the most craftiest player either. Not a lot of wiggle in RJ game. Like, he's kind of stiff. That might limit him as being the first option on the championship team. Wrote about that in this article. I think RJ is more suited to be a co-star or a star with somebody that's another star because of the handles and how tight it is and how stiff it is. But even without Kyrie handles or Shea handles, he still can get to the rack, man. Still can get to the rack at a crazy rate. But we get to the accuracy, he's in the 15th percentile finishing around the basket. This stuff, it's what we all know. That's RJ right at this moment. Like, not the best, not the most consistent shooter. He has those games where he heats up, but right now, just not the best shooter. With this number right here at the rim, we can do better than that. I know RJ can do better than that. So Jalen Brunson, when I say that he can help maximize RJ, that's another playmaker. That's a better playmaker than RJ. It's a better playmaker than Julius Randle. So, he has a guy that can run the offense, take some pressure off of him, knock down outside shots. He's not the most consistent shooter either, but I do think he would develop into a respectable shooter. I don't think you can just leave Jalen Brunson, or you won't be able to next year. So with that, hopefully quickly can get some more minutes. Obi can really develop that corner three. I'm high on Obi. Quentin Grimes should get more run. You can't leave Quentin Grimes. When the Knicks get more shooters and more floor spaces around RJ, I'm expecting the rim percentage to go up. It's just right now, everybody collapses. The decision making, year 4, I'm expecting you, instead of when it's 2 players at the rack and trying to euro around them or barrel into them, get it off. Get it off to Quentin Grimes in the corner with a skip pass. Because I've seen RJ throw skip passes. He can do that. It's just a matter of Willie. So, glad the Knicks re-signed him, man. He deserves his coin. RJ Barrett deserves his coin. And we can say it messed up the Donovan Mitchell trade, but man, I'm not worried about that. That young brother got $30 million a year. I love it. I really do love it. But yeah, man, check out this article I wrote about him in, I think it was May. I just went over everything, man. His shot diet, his on and off defense, the right hand that he does have, and how can he max out his abilities? I think playing with Jalen Brunson, a better point guard. The Knicks haven't had a point guard like this in a long time. When I say a point guard like this, I mean a good point guard, like somebody who could run the show, score for themselves. D Rose was that, but D Rose wasn't really running the show as much as he was, creating for himself, and that's fine. We love D Rose around here, but Jalen Brunson is the best point guard the Knicks have had in a minute. So I do think he'll help max out RJ's game, and I don't think the Knicks will be super good. But maybe they have the Julius Randle second team All-NBA year. Maybe they surprise us again. They should have a good defense theoretically. When you're talking about Thibs, Isaiah Hartenstein, that was a great pickup. A great rim protector, a great passer. I really like his game. He just has a smooth feel for the game. Mitchell Robinson, one of the best putback players in the NBA. That second bounce is just ridiculous. You want to see more energy and more of that like defensively, running around outside of the paint. But, he kind of a dinosaur big in that sense. But, great lob threat. Super crazy catch radius. Like him. Fournier, should go back to a 6-man role. That's his game. You get a healthy D Rose. That's the real 6-man. It sounds like I'm hyping up the Knicks, don't it? But I don't think the Knicks will be super good. That's why I said they might surprise us. But I'm expecting 30. I hate to. I don't know. Yeah, I'm kind of expecting like 37 to 40 wins, somewhere in there. So I'm not expecting this Knicks team to be crazy good. I will be watching a lot to see RJ's growth. And like I said, I like Hartenstein a lot. But yeah, Jalen Brunson should help this team be better. But the East also got better, so them getting better might not always reflect in the record 100%. Like, it might not be as obvious. It might not be the biggest jump. But the rest of the East got better. So, we'll see, man. We'll see, y'all. Yeah, man. We'll see.